DC, maintain order.
Mr. Barras. Thank you. Make sure I didn't give you, I may have given you accidentally all three of one.
Yeah, I think one here is, that's it.
I may have accidentally given you more than I should have. I have 3 copies, one from me and one for my staff attorney.
Thank you.
All right, anything from the state before we get started?
No, but Judge, can we put Detective Gigliotti back on the stand?
Sure. I noticed he wasn't there, but I didn't know if that was... Yeah, he can sit.
We were trying to sort out the phone call issue and then you neglected him outside.
That's okay. Anything from the Mr. Barry Barras, anything?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we can just bring the jury back in. Okay, everybody can have a seat. For the record, defendant is present with counsel, assistant state attorney is present. Everybody have your pads, notepads. One jacket keeps getting shared around here. I can stir up a blanket in the back. You need a blanket? Okay. Now, ma'am, if you take my robe, you get to come sit up here. Let me send a text and see if I can stir up a blanket. Okay. And I guess I need to make another inquiry about getting the temperature better. But I'll work on that. I'll be working on that. Well, maybe the people who need a blanket can sit together because I'm going to have probably just one. Oh, do you mind running to get it real quick? Like the wind? All right. Emily's got one too, maybe.
How many blankets? I'll bring my own tomorrow.
Well, I hate that you have to do that, ma'am. I mean, it's August. You shouldn't have to think about
I
a
was
blanket.
fine at this end. It's something at this end.
Ah, okay. Well, you're going to learn tomorrow where you need to sit, right? Okay. If you have to kind of shove somebody out of the way. Let me send a text about the temperature. Wow. I think I need a blanket. That looks awesome.
Thank you.
Do y'all want to switch? If somebody's chilled and y'all want to share, I mean, I think she's pretty much got the blanket now and nobody else is getting it. I'm going to send the text, okay? Y'all bear with. Hopefully it'll get better. Ms. Jensen, do you want to go ahead and pick up where we left off?
The text message of what?
Oh, that's going to be Barb. It depends on what the blip is.
It says, I'm confused. What do you mean cheating on you? I thought you were married and she was living with you and your husband.
Okay, that's Barb.
Okay, we might want to contact Barb.
That's the lady I was telling you about that works as a police officer, the one that told the...
What's Barb's number?
910
Yep.
934 9996.
Okay.
That's the one I was telling you about that was supposedly very good friends with Taylor and is a police officer herself, and then she's the one that said that she didn't necessarily think that Taylor was fit to come back as an officer. And that is part of that, what I was telling you, that she said she was going to be living with Cass and Cass's husband.
Do you know if Barb has a Facebook?
I don't.
We probably follow that before.
We do. Do you have a Facebook?
I do.
Do you communicate, or have you communicated in the past with Taylor on Facebook or Instant Messenger?
She may have, sent me something on Facebook, but I'm not a huge Facebook user. I mean, I've seen her pictures and stuff on Facebook, but...
When was the last time you communicated with anyone via Facebook? Like Messenger?
Oh, probably today on Facebook Messenger or whatever. Because there's a girl that my daughter's looking at another horse on there. And then, like, you know, friends, like if I see something funny on Facebook, most of the time the only person that I've texted on there is the lady that, you know, with the horse, but most of the, like, funny stuff, instead of, like, sharing it on my page, I'll, like, send in Messenger, like, you know, you can share, send in Messenger or whatever, like, if it's, like, a funny meme thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or, like, an article or whatever, I'll send it to somebody. But my Facebook page is basically recipes.
Okay. There's another 910 number that I suspect is the child's. But the father's, or ex-husband is, apparently has that number.
Does anybody know where her number came from?
Where Taylor's? Well, one of them.
We have a number that everybody knows. We know where it belongs or who it belongs
Okay.
to.
Where were you under the impression that it came from?
She just told me that she was on somebody's plan, but I didn't know who that person was.
Did she ever say a name?
Is that how she knew him?
I just thought it was odd because, like, most people get their own cell phone.
Yeah. Some people have to.
Yeah. But I mean, it's strange not to have your own cell phone. Like, I mean, why are you on somebody else's plan, though? You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I just was curious because it always, like, it will pop up as some sort of South Florida number.
Imagine that she has some kind of integrity issue with work. That's why that's when she left working up there.
Hmm.
At least that's what Barbara said. I think you read that. It's sent to you, right?
Yeah.
If she were to intentionally try to stay gone this entire time, and if that's what her intent is, that's what's going on, do you think that she would have traveled to North Carolina to hang out with Barb? Or do you think that Barb would be receptive and, like, cool with that?
I don't know Barb, and I've never even heard her talk to Barb around me, but I would say no. Everything that she's ever said to me about Barb is that she was, like, I think her husband is in the military, and, like, Barb is law enforcement. She seems very straight-laced with kids, and I think they have a son, maybe sons that are similar age range. I know that she spent some time with her when she went up to take Drake back to Jeff this last time.
Is that the whole, like, watching the cop incident?
Yeah, when she
Following
went out,
around,
she did that,
meet me at Lowe's, no this Lowe's, no that
Right.
Lowe's. Okay.
I think the husband's number is 5578. Right?
Stand by.
Because there's text messages that you would have saw talking about. They found out that the Tyco private investigator account until 3 days prior to the final hearing. And,
That is correct.
okay.
Have you spoke to Brian
No.
Mulback? Detective Mulback? Facebook detective?
No. The reason I looked at you funny is because I don't know. I think there's another Brian.
Oh, is there?
I don't know if that's what you're talking about, because I think that there's a Brian that has something to do with the Destin situation. It may be like Ray's husband or boyfriend or...
Connected to Rainey? How do you spell Rainey?
I guess R-A-I-N-E-Y.
And this is someone that she used to live with,
Yes,
not date.
right. As far as I know.
she like screwing over health insurance companies? What it sounds like.
So we've heard. I knew that she told me that she had that big settlement, and that was part of that
Didn't she
commingling.
investigate insurance fraud?
Yeah, so she probably knows about it.
How to do it.
Have you heard of that insurance check, that $250,000 check?
First I've heard of it.
That should be easy to find out.
Well, supposedly it's involved in the court stuff, because it's that was her complaint, is that it had been commingled at some point, and,
Let's see that one's almost done. That's a lot of money.
It is.
That's a
But-
decent,
I think she was in a bad wreck, and I asked Cass, do you know that she actually was in the wreck, and she said, yeah, she does have, like, some sort of issue, or she was in a wreck, but
Her relative can confirm all that.
oh, I would. Well, I'm sure the court records can, because if they've listed as commingled, they have had to know about
I
it.
was curious where the $100,000 came from. He was a military guy. He's not going to make that much money.
unless they've,
Who keeps
they've
that?
obviously dabbled in some real estate, which can be lucrative, but 100 G's cash is still
That's a lot of money.
substantial.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't know about that Atlanta house. That day that she left was the first time I'd heard about the Atlanta house. I can understand why you would want to pull your hair out, because like I want to pull mine out just with having to
Yeah.
learn all this, because you think you know somebody and you think you try to help them, and then you come to find out like you have no clue who they are, and it's just like, what? I let my child around this person and I don't know,
Yeah. I know there's probably not much there, but where is your kid?
My child?
Yeah.
She's at my aunt's right now.
Has she ever been left alone, and maybe, how old is your kid?
She's 16.
Okay, so she's old enough
Yeah.
to talk and know what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think she would have any information, or do you think that she and Cass or Taylor ever had a talk or anything?
I think they have. Savannah confided in Taylor that she has had sex before. She doesn't want to tell me
I'm sure that was not a conversation you were looking forward to.
that. No, not at all. Apparently it was just once though, so I don't know about that, but like still, not what you want to hear as a mom. But it's probably been 3 months or so since Savannah has seen Taylor.
Okay.
But she did go to, I think the last time she saw Taylor was back in May. I think they went to Fiesta. And Savannah was with Cass and Taylor at Fiesta. They went to a parade downtown together.
Okay. I'll be right back. Chad, you get that, Chad? Is your husband looking for you?
Oh.
Are you worried about you? These things just sometimes take time. We want to go over every little thing and try to
This
get
is
that.
confusing. It's hard to piece it together.
It is. There's a lot of, and like I said earlier, you've provided a lot of information that we didn't know. We didn't know where the money came from. We didn't know whether she took the money from Jeff or if she got the money from somewhere else and told Jeff, hey, this is from work. Jeff wasn't, I couldn't talk to Jeff at the time, really, when I wanted to. So, we had no clue. We didn't know whether we needed to start looking at someone that she may have, like, ripped off somewhere, or is that a possible lead? I mean, and so now it comes out this is possibly, who knows, if this is money from the insurance settlement. Or is that something you were told?
Right.
So we'll look into that. Jeff should be able to confirm or deny, or we can subpoena court records and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like, based on what she's told me, I would think it's in the court record somewhere, or at least, I mean, then there's no reason for Jeff not to say one way or another.
No, I'm sure he will once he's available. I'm interested to know if that's the case or not, if that's factual. Because it's the first time I've heard of anything about a crash, anything about $250,000. First it was 30 cash, and then it was maybe a few cashier's checks, and then it was like 20 now cash with a lot of cashier's checks, a fairly substantial amount.
Exactly.
And then I heard something about 100 grand, and then now I'm hearing 250 grand. So you can see where we're.
The whole thing. I mean, it's just so convoluted. And who knows? Like, that's the thing. Like, everybody gets a different piece of some sort of something.
Well, she's going around telling all of y'all different things.
Right.
And we go around and we ask all y'all these same questions.
Right. And then you get 18 different
so
answers.
we're getting all these different things, and they're not matching up with what this person said. It's not that we necessarily believe that you're being untruthful. It's because I think that you were provided different information.
And that's the problem. I think everybody was. It's just like that with her saying, like, I'm moving in. Or she told someone she was building a house. She's not Cass. She said she was building a house. And then she told somebody else that she moved in Cass and her husband. Cass doesn't have a husband. She's lesbian, and she's with Taylor. And then somebody else is, or like I know that she's moving in with Cass, and Cass is building a house. And everybody knows, like, some sort of fraction of something that, and none of it makes any sense.
And that's why we have to talk to every single person and go through these things so detailed, because each person may have one little small piece that could end up giving us a clue on as to where she may be, or hopefully she's fine. Hopefully she's fine, but it's not, I don't care who you are. We all have our backgrounds and things that we feel that we're comfortable in handling our own and take care of ourselves, but at the end of the day, it's not safe for anyone to walk around with $20,000 cash.
No, especially in a drug situation, if you have anyone to do that.
Because
I mean, that's what people would be looking for.
I don't care how much training you got, there's always someone out there, and there's
Tougher
always
than you, that's whatever.
there's always a situation you can be put in that I don't care how tough you are. There's no one that can get out of it. And cash is, a lot less. I've seen people do a lot of worse things.
How rob you until you for $5?
For a lot less money.
I mean, how many, like,
Food,
gas stations or...
food stamp cards. Food stamp cards.
Yeah, because I guess you can sell those as a new commodity.
There's all kinds of things.
I heard that just the other day. I was shocked. Apparently, you can, like, buy like $200 worth of food stamp cards for, like, $100 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, how are these people getting around this? And they're like, oh, they sell them. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we have to track all this stuff down. Obviously, whenever you get that information about that other farm,
Okay, I'll send it to you.
we'll gladly take that and see what we can do about getting out there, sending someone out there. And when you do send, if you could send the contact information for the property owner.
Sure.
We're not in the business of going on people's property without permission.
Gotcha.
Now, these people, are they local? And the aunties or aunts?
Yeah, they are local.
Okay. So if need be, they may be willing to meet us and
Oh, I'm sure.
kind of show us around, but I want to get eaten by some pig,
I think you'll be fine.
We,
There's no vicious animals.
I don't know. So, we will, we'll need that. Are there any other, you said that she left property at your house sometimes. What stuff of hers is at your house?
I don't have anything of hers at my house anymore. Everything is at my office.
To your knowledge, are there any electronics at your office?
That I don't know. You have to ask Cass.
Laptops, tablets, desktops,
We found
phones?
a tablet in her car, and Cass took that in and, I think charged it. Like a, like a iPad thing. And then, I think Cass has a couple laptops of hers.
Cass has a couple laptops of
Taylor's.
Taylor's. 2? Are you certain of those, of 2 laptops? Hey, Chad. Sorry, they're trying to get another machine up, see if it'll pull it quicker.
Do you want me to leave it with you?
It's up to you.
I mean, I can.
It's entirely up to you. That's actually what another individual did, and we are going to contact that individual as soon as we can get it off, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, and arrange whether they come down here or we bring it to them. We're cool with whatever. We'll be back in here bright and early, and we can do that.
That's fine with me.
Okay. Let me holler at him, see if he's got anything else. Yeah. We're good with that, if you're good with that.
Yeah, just let me give you Zach's number, and that way you can contact me.
This is this whole case, bro.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Around anybody. What a nightmare.
Okay. Go ahead.
850-554-1571.
Okay, perfect. I'll walk you down. Thanks for coming up here. I know that I hope this doesn't cause problems to you, but
Oh, no.
that wasn't at all our intention.
Judge, I'm missing my thumb drive. Found it.
Couple of questions about that interview. Ms. McArthur mentioned this farm in Milton. Did you check out where it was?
Yes.
Okay, what did you do?
Detective Wilhite and I drove out there,
Okay, and where was it?
way out in East Milton, maybe 5 miles or so past the east of the Santa Rosa County Jail.
Let me get him to repeat his name again.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going to be sworn. Just
Okay.
put your hand down. Scoot up to the microphone. Tell me your name.
Sure. Richard Gigliotti.
All right, you're still under oath from yesterday. You may proceed.
okay. You said it was about 5 miles east of?
Yes, the Santa Rosa County Jail.
Okay. And Ms. McArthur mentioned Taylor having a second phone. Was that the first you'd heard of that?
It is.
Okay. And did you ever find any information that connected Taylor to a second phone?
No, ma'am.
In the home visit from yesterday on the 18th, and then in this interview from the 18th, you asked for an address, street, anything for this North End property. Did Ashley McArthur ever provide anything about that?
She did not.
During the interview, you asked to download her phone. Who was that phone given to?
Jeff Brown.
And who's Jeff Brown?
He does our forensics at PPD,
Okay.
Pensacola Police Department.
And were you able to access Ms. McArthur's cell phone download on that date?
We were able to access the phone, not the downloaded file.
Okay, why not?
There was something to do with the file being encrypted or locked.
Did you ask Ms. McArthur for passwords?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and how'd that work out?
I asked her numerous times for numerous passwords for her phone and for her iTunes backup. She provided numerous pins and passwords, none of which worked.
Okay. Did you end up keeping that phone on the 18th, though, of September?
We did.
Okay. Did you continue to communicate with Ms. McArthur after the 18th?
I did.
Okay, if you had her phone, how were you able to do that?
Sure. So she told me that she had got another phone, borrowed one or something to that effect, and we had spoke on that one several times. She'd call me.
Now, on September 18th, other than Ashley McArthur's house on Raintree, did you go anywhere else?
Yes, we did.
Okay, where did you go?
Yes, prior to Raintree, we went to Cassandra Waller's residence on Berkeley.
Okay, and what did you do at Cassandra Waller's residence?
We searched her residence.
And what did you find, if anything?
We found several of Taylor Wright's belongings, personal effects, Social Security card, if I remember correctly, her vehicle. The big thing was a $19,000 uncashed cashier's check from Navy Federal.
You want to approach the witness?
Okay.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit number 17. You'll just take a look at that and see if you recognize it.
I do.
And is that a photograph of the cashier's check you found at Cassandra Waller's on September 18th, 2017?
It is.
Judge, at this time I'd move State 17 in evidence.
Proceed to state 17.
Judge, and if I could just publish for the record, I'll leave it from the lights off.
Okay. You may publish.
This is State's Exhibit number 17. And who is it made out to?
The victim, Taylor Wright.
Okay, and what is the date?
It's dated July 25th, 2017.
Now, which bank issued that cashier's check?
Navy Federal Credit Union.
Okay, and did you have a subpoena issued for Taylor Wright's Navy Federal bank accounts?
We did.
And did you receive her bank statements for June, July, and August of 2017?
We did.
Did you review those records upon receipt?
Yes.
Okay. There's no objection. The state would move in states 18 and 19.
They'll be received to states 18 and 19.
What do the, do you need these or do you have copies?
Probably quicker to look at yours.
What does, what do Taylor Wright's records show in June, July, and August?
Just showed that there was a substantial amount of money in the account and that it was being moved around. There was withdrawals, deposits.
How much?
So at one point it shows that there was $251,000 credit in there in the account, and that there were withdrawals of smaller amounts, 400 and 200, and then it increases in July, looks like on the 13th, to a looks like a $3,000 payment. There's an $83,000 transfer. On the 18th of July, it looks like a withdrawal by check for $83,000. A deposit of $68,000, leaving a difference of, it looks like 15 grand. Another withdrawal by check for $34,000, which emptied the account, leaving $5 in the account on July 22nd.
On July what?
July 22nd.
Okay. After September 18th, when you went to Ms. McArthur's home and then when you interviewed her at the police station, did you hear from her after that?
Yes.
Okay. And how did those contacts take place?
Most of them were phone calls.
Okay. And who calling who?
She would call me and I would return her call for the most part. There was a couple times where I answered her call.
Okay. What was the basic nature of those conversations?
Sure. So Ashley was just contacting me to check up on the case for the most part.
Okay. And did you record those phone calls?
I did.
Okay. And have you reviewed them before your testimony today?
I have.
By stipulation of the state and the defense, the state will move in evidence states 20, 21, and 22. And for the record, states 20 is a phone conversation on September 24th, 2017. States Exhibit 21 is a phone call on September 28th, 2017. And states 22 is a phone call on October 2nd, 2017.
All right, they'll be received as states 21, 22, 20, 21, and 22.
If I understand.
Yes.
On the September 24th phone call, what stood out to you during that phone conversation with Ms. McArthur?
Sure. So primarily the conversation again was her calling and checking up on the case, but Ashley McArthur referenced believing that Taylor was in Destin a lot. Several statements in the phone call with some reference to Destin.
Believing that Taylor was in Destin?
Yes.
Okay. And then on the September 28th phone call, what stood out to you in that phone call?
Again, Ashley McArthur called about updates on the case.
Anything else significant or just updates?
I want to say she may have mentioned in that one about hospital stay or something she believed Taylor may have been in. I could be mixing them up, but for me to check hospitals, she stated she wasn't going to give away any of the victim's property that she had.
Okay. On October 2nd, what stood out to you during that phone call?
Sure. Again, another phone call from McArthur. She stated that one of the questions I asked was that if Taylor owed anyone money or if anyone owed Taylor money. And Ashley stated no.
Okay. Did Ms. McArthur mention anything about a treatment facility?
Yes, at some point about a rehab, maybe some kind of hospital or something, a treatment facility, one of these calls.
Okay. Now, in the September 28th call, I believe Ms. McArthur says something about Zach being annoyed that you guys were looking into his purchases or something?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that about?
So we worked every person that came along that we felt be helpful. We tracked down Zach's purchases, and specifically on the 8th, And one of the locations that we contacted notified him that we were looking into his purchases.
Okay. Was he a little irritated about that, according to Ms. McArthur?
Certainly.
Okay. And were you provided of a copy of a receipt with Mr. McArthur's name and account information so that you could track those purchases?
Yes.
Show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 23.
Yes.
You'll just take a look at that. Was that the receipt that you were provided with Mr. McArthur's bank information and his name to help you find where he was on the 8th?
Yes.
Okay, Judge, at this time, I move States 23 into evidence.
I'm sorry,
No objection, Your Honor.
received as 23.
What places were you able to place him at on the 8th?
So I recall there being a charge at a seafood restaurant.
Okay.
There was, I believe, 2 charges at Academy Sports and Outdoors. There was one at Popeyes. And then the tires, etc., were, I believe there was like an oil change or something to that effect.
Did your office get a search warrant for Ashley McArthur's bank records?
Yes, we did.
Did your office get a search warrant for Ashley McArthur's cell tower records?
Yes, we did.
After you received those records, did you talk to Ashley McArthur again?
Yes.
When?
On October 19th, 2017,
Okay, and where did you speak with Ms. McArthur?
at Pensacola Police Department.
Do you remember approximately what time it was when you talked to her?
Approximately 8:30 in the morning.
And did you read Ms. McArthur her Miranda rights on October 19th?
I did.
Okay, and how'd you do that?
I just read it from a department.
May we approach?
All right, counsel, approach to the court reporter.
On October 19th, 2017, did you read Ms. McArthur her Miranda rights?
We did.
Okay, and how did you do that?
I read them from a department-provided Miranda form.
Okay, and did Ms. McArthur indicate that she understood her rights?
She did.
Was this conversation on October 19th recorded just like the one from September 18th?
It was.
Okay, and does it have the same poor quality?
Same, I believe it was the same camera system at that time.
Okay, and have you reviewed your conversation with Ms. McArthur before your testimony today?
I have.
Judge, at this time I move States 24 into evidence.
Other than the previously announced objection, any objection, Mr. Barassa?
No additional objection, Your Honor.
Okay. It'll be received as States 24.
Judge, and this is...
Okay, I'll talk to him. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is I think this is the last of anything audio, video. The phone calls were sort of stipulated to be admitted, and there was a summary, so we have cut out some of what you were going to listen to today, but you'll have those in exhibits if you want to listen to those phone calls that were just admitted. This, on the other hand, is being played. It's an hour and 37 minutes, but what we're going to do is someone's going to let me know. It's okay. Someone's going to let me know when your lunch is here, hopefully about 12:45, and we'll just do what we've been doing, which is take a break, okay? Last time, imagine you're on your sofa at home. Everybody take a deep breath. Here we go. You may proceed.
Hi, how you been doing? Wow.
Good night.
I'm tired.
Tired. You sleep good?
I didn't sleep very much because I was actually supposed to fly out at 6 o'clock this morning, but I have a lot going on at the office, so.
Where did Laura go?
Well, Zach went ahead and went, but I'll probably have to go later, but, we volunteer with Sheepdog Impact Assistance.
What's that?
It's a,
Sheepdog across up with the police.
well, it's a, nonprofit that does things for injured first responders and any kind of military. And, they're at NDC, volunteering to do stuff with the Marine Corps Marathon. It's really good.
That's pretty close to heart for you guys. What Zach's in there.
It's a really good organization. They do a lot. Like, they sent a lot of disaster recovery teams to, get the hurricanes and stuff too. It's really, it was started by a sergeant major in the Marine Corps, and, a lot of retired police and fire and veterans and stuff help out with it, but they have a lot of, we went, in 2015, we did the Stephen Stroll run in New York.
I think I remember that. Is that the guy that ran across the bridge or something?
Yes.
And all their firefighter gear, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I remember that.
And we did that, and they had like several like double amputees that did the run, and single amputees, and they made, they were allowed us to go like first before the rest of the people in the room, so that, you know, people in wheelchairs and stuff like that could have an opportunity to go through.
I can't run over.
But you know what's funny, like some of those guys are way better than like people with two legs, you know, like.
You better not get it.
So Zach left already there, I guess?
Yeah, he left one.
What time was his plane?
6.
Good Lord, it's early.
Yeah.
I try not to take early flights. But you get there early, so.
He's still again too. He's flying from here to Miami and then to DC.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm going the wrong way though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's your phone. Same condition. If you want to look at it, make sure it's in the same condition it was when you left it.
It's a break.
Yeah. I agree. But, so your black iPhone, my signature, we're turning back over on the 19th. Sign there. How you been doing?
Alright.
You talked to Cass lately?
I haven't talked to her lately. I'll text her or message her every now and then. See, you know, if she's heard anything or what's going on, and she has an update or.
How's she doing?
She seems okay. It seems very like she'll say that she's really sad or she's been crying all day or she's frustrated. And
She kind of still don't know which way to go.
And I asked Zach if he had heard Taylor talk about any kind of like foot games or anything like that, and he said he hadn't. But, you know, it's like when Jeff was starting to ask me, you know, what I knew about, you know, Taylor and stuff, and I said, well, like as far as our nightlife and stuff, we didn't really go out together like that, you know, because first that circle was a different circle with people. I mean, well, I don't know.
When did he call you?
I think yesterday.
What was his attitude?
No, he didn't call. He Facebook messaged me.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't, you know, knowing or whatever, so he did that where he can.
I was kind of wondering how he was giving.
No, he looked me up on Facebook, and you know, he said, well, and honestly, I probably shouldn't have even responded. He said that he was, and I just assumed, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's so I don't know. It's not, doesn't say his name, but it's something else, and he was like, you know, this is who I am or whatever. And I was like, well, I don't really.
Did he talk about Drake and how Drake was doing? Anyone else come forward, let you know anything? Any of y'all's friends heard anything?
See, I don't know any of her friends really. I mean, like, Cass is the only, like, Facebook friend that we have in common.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So any of that, her other circle, I don't know, you know. So, I mean, I can, ask Cass and stuff how she was doing or whatever, but other than that, we don't have any, like, social friends in common.
Yeah. What was Jeff saying exactly? I mean, was he concerned, or was
If you want to grab my phone, I'll show you.
Yeah, I don't know, that's fine. I mean, I don't need, we're just...
He just, asked, like, how her behavior had been, and, saying that, it seemed out of place for her, but he didn't really know, because some of the things that he had seen wasn't the person that he saw when they were together, and I'm like, well, that's kind of how we all kind of feel, because we don't know who she really is, and then you hear, like, just different chunks. It's so bizarre, and you're thinking, okay, well, is this who she is, or is all of this somehow who she is?
Yeah. And who knows? At this point, we're kind of at a loss as well.
He did tell me that her dad had to file some affidavit about not being the reason that she was changing the court date.
Have you ever talked to her dad?
I don't know. I don't even know his name, but apparently at some point, Taylor had tried to change her court date and said she had to do it because her dad had to be evacuated.
Evacuated from where?
What court, is this the court date over Tuscaloosa they had?
I guess
That's
so.
what she missed?
Right.
Okay.
And she had to change it because he had to be evacuated. Well, she had told Cass and I that he was deceased. But
And
then...
is it like one of those situations where she has like a biological father and then like some other dad raised her?
No.
Two different people?
Not that I know of. My understanding is the only person she had that like raised her is the lady that's in Tallahassee.
Is that Nancy?
I think so. And then she has a biological mother that I was told is deceased.
Lord.
And then her biological father, who was somewhere in South Florida. And that's the one that she told Cass and I that was deceased. And then apparently she told the court that she had to change the court date because he had to be evacuated from one of these hurricanes
After
or
she went
something.
around telling people that she
But
was
he was
deceased.
but see, of course, we wouldn't know that because it's a court record or whatever. But Jeff did say that he had to sign some affidavit with the court saying that he was in fine condition and didn't need evacuation. I guess
was that over like the hurricane and everything that just happened, or was it old stuff?
no, apparently it was during one of these hurricanes. I don't know if it was Irma or
It's the one that recently hit down in Miami.
Oh, I think it got hit pretty bad.
yeah.
The one that destroyed Key West.
Good Lord. Sounds like a big mess.
I don't even understand it. But how do you say that he's deceased and then he's got to be evacuated? But of course we didn't know that. But I guess it kind of pissed him off or whatever, so he came to the court, according to Jeff, I guess, and said no.
But did she ever come forward and say, like, hey, I was just playing around, or, I don't know why I told you that, but,
About him being deceased?
yeah, and then now he's actually alive?
No, I didn't know that he was actually alive until after she left. Like, Cass found that, we were under the impression that he was deceased until she started talking to different people or whatever, and he was alive in South Florida.
I guess this is probably a question for Nancy. I never asked her, but is she married? She's not what she's talking about, like Nancy's husband? Something like that? Well, like I said, we've been looking into it. We've had to look into everyone, obviously. I'm sure you can imagine with the knowledge you do have of law enforcement. We got to look into everyone. So we've been doing it, and we've turned up some things that we don't really know what to think at this point.
Right.
So we don't know who's involved with what, right? Like I said before, I don't know Jeff's involvement. Obviously, there's probably some bitter feelings over the money issue and the child and Drake and all. I'm sure she loved Drake or loves Drake, but obviously Jeff has probably no intent on letting Taylor have that job, right?
I don't think she needs him right now.
Yeah. Well, when we were conducting our investigation, we've come across, like I said, several things. We don't know whether it's civil or something y'all have had agreements on or whatever, so I was going to ask you about them if you don't mind, if you had some time. But with that, because we don't know the nature of it, I need to read you something.
Okay.
Cool? Okay. Try to breeze through this real quick. It turns out it's just civil issues, and that's not what we deal with. So before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say against you can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before he asks you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you can't afford a lawyer, it won't be appointed for you for questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions of now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop and answer any time. You understand that? You understand? If you want to read it, you're welcome to.
I think y'all may be business partners in something. That's what we're asking. I'm
Right.
not sure.
So, as I was saying, when we were doing our investigation, we've looked into everyone. By nature, we have to. We just got done talking to Cassandra not long ago, a few days ago. I know she's a girlfriend, right? I'm sure she cares about Taylor, as do you, I'm sure. But we found some bank records that drew some questions. Can you tell me anything about you and Taylor and any sort of involvement with any businesses?
She needed to put, like, money and whatever, and she also wanted to do some of the stuff with my t-shirt business and stuff as well, with her Takeo. And so we added her to my Purely Southern Wells Fargo account.
Is that the t-shirt business?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work with, I mean, what does that entail?
We do, like, festivals and things like that, sort of like the gun shows and things like that she was going to, where she wanted to sell her clips and tactical things and stuff like that.
Okay. So, did y'all have, like, a business agreement?
Nothing, like, really formal.
So what was kind of the plan? She was to just kind of come to put her name on y'all's business or something and sell t-shirts?
Well, we would just use that as just a umbrella for all of the tactical and the t-shirts and everything together.
Okay. Now, were you going to do, like, the ordering for her, or was she going to just kind of bring the stuff and do her own thing?
We haven't really worked it all out yet.
Okay.
Which day y'all added or opened the account?
The account's been open for several years. We added her before she went to North Carolina with Drake.
How long ago was that, roughly? Do you remember?
Probably early August.
Okay. How do you, and just out of curiosity, how do you add someone to,
You have to go into the bank with that person, and they sign their portion, and then I sign that it's okay to be added to the account.
do you recall which bank y'all went to and did that?
Yeah, we went to the Wells Fargo on Monroe Road.
There's 10 Strand.
No, the Target, the University branch.
So, is it over off the Bayou?
No, the Target on Monroe Road.
I'm not familiar with that area. I think Target, is the one out by the mall.
No, it's the one that's right near the house she used to live in with the room that she had rented off of 9 Mile. Right there, it's University and
I think it's out there. There's a big, huge golf course out there, and there's a pin air. But I don't know where the Wells Fargo is at. I don't remember something out there. I don't live out that way, so.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's right at the University and...
Right at the corner there?
Well, okay, it's in the parking-lot.
Of the Target?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's Panda, like, okay, and you know how they have the out parcels or whatever, it's next door to Chick-fil-A across the, like, just one more, about west.
Okay. Makes sense, I just never go out there.
Yeah, I think there's like Panda Express, Chick-fil-A, Wells Fargo, Regions, Starbucks, Subway maybe. They're all right together.
Okay. So, y'all agreed to be, I guess, business partners. Who all is in on that business?
The only people on there are me, Zach, and Taylor.
And Zach was okay with all that?
He doesn't really have anything to do with it.
Typical dad.
Yeah. He's just kind of on the account because he's married to you?
Right.
What was his feelings towards, I mean, did he know that she was getting involved?
No, but he's not involved. I mean, we just didn't, like, Taylor and I's business we didn't really discuss with Zach, because...
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about, how he felt about you all going in and being business partners. So.
The relationship that Zach and I have is...
Yeah, you could...
Well, he's only worked 3 days in the past 6 years, so, like,
Oh,
what
really?
I do business-wise is not, like, up to him, I guess.
Do you not know what all goes on?
What do you, I mean, like...
Like with the business, your amusement business and this purely Southern business.
I mean, I talked to him about it here and there or whatever, but he's not really, involved in anything. If I say, hey, can you come help me move the machine, he might do it, or he might say, I'm not a worker, I don't do machines.
Really? How does that go?
So you've been carrying the load for the last 6 years? How does that make you feel?
Zach is a very good person, and he has struggled with all the stuff that he had, but, I mean, since that wreck, he's just tired.
I could see, I don't want to say the breadwinner in the family, but I'm sure it takes a toll on him not able to work or...
Frustrating for him, and that wreck, especially just getting back into law enforcement and it happening like it did. He had last week, I think, an interview or two or whatever. He just doesn't know what he wants to do. And I understand that. The problem is, and I mean, he probably don't do that, but he probably would. I mean, once you've done this job for so long, I mean, if somebody asks you, okay, you're not working here tomorrow, what are you going to do?
I don't know what I would do, so I don't know how I would feed my family. I would go home and probably cry.
That's what I mean. I mean, because
be lost.
it's not a job that it's a lateral.
What else can we go do?
I may not have been it long, but I don't feel any different.
No, I know, but you know what I mean?
I don't know what else.
You're not as far out of, like, thinking about, okay, what I'm going to do or whatever, but, like, after a while...
I can't go to retail because I would lose my patience with people.
Oh, I know.
So I can't do
Well, I
that.
try to get Zach to do that, though, during, like, hunting season and stuff, because I was like, can you get a job at, like, Gander Mountain so you get a discount on all this stuff you're buying? I mean,
Let me ask you
25%
this.
would be good.
Does Zach, if he doesn't work, because he doesn't, obviously he's not making, does he get disability?
He got disability for 6 months after the wreck.
Does he, on a daily basis, know how much money y'all have in y'all's checking account?
No.
Okay. So if he has to buy something, does he call you, hey, hon, is there this much money in the account? Can I buy this or can I buy that? Or he just swipes his card and if it gets declined, it gets declined?
Right.
So he just swipes. I don't know why.
Goodness gracious.
Yes, he's a lot like his own.
Does that frustrate you? Because I'm sure if he doesn't know, you just spend and spend and you're making plans to pay this bill, that bill. Does it ever make y'all's account get jacked up because of spending?
Not really. I mean, he's pretty stable. But he's not over the top or, you know, whatever with anything. He's not crazy about, you know, just nutty stuff or whatever. But, I mean, but for my business, it's been just hard since we had the fire at our office. It's just
What happened with that?
nothing, you know, we're just waiting on insurance to do their thing or whatever, but
When was the fire?
back in June.
At the whole warehouse?
Did y'all lose like a bunch of property or something?
Mostly parts. And the bigger thing is just like some of those parts are things that we had stockpiled for years and years and that aren't available now, like for mega touches, the things that, you know, the stone bar or whatever.
Like the card game that touched the screen?
Right. They don't make them anymore, so we had parts and tons of parts and stuff that we had to fix all that, but now that they don't make them anymore, it's hard to keep the stuff that we have going because
I imagine
there's no parts
those new
to that.
machines, I'm sure, are not cheap.
Well, they don't make them. So
You didn't
you're
get parts
just,
at all.
no, and you can't get new machines, so. That's
And the bars get mad whenever y'all tell them, hey, we have to take this thing out because we don't have the parts to fix it.
They do, they get frustrated because everybody, it's kind of like laws and things. Everybody thinks that they want them, and then it may make a few dollars here or there, whatever, but, you know, that isn't there.
Right.
So,
How's that business doing?
it's okay. It's been better, that's for sure,
Yeah.
but
What about the t-shirt business? Is it?
we haven't done a lot with it since I got hurt, really. We used to be pretty active with it, you know, and planned on, you know, doing it again, but it's just busy weekends and it's less travel and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Is it like a certain time of the year they have these conventions, or is it 12 year, or
It's
12
pretty
months
much
a year?
year round, but, Taylor has a lot more time to do it, so, like, to do the travel and stuff like that, so she's gonna take, you know, like, the t-shirts and stuff more with her than we would be going out to do it just because I'm sort of stuck here with my other business and stuff like that.
Okay. Fair enough. So basically what we're trying to do also is I mean, my concern here is Drake, right? I mean, I'm sure you have a child, right? I can't imagine, my kid's not old enough to know, obviously, anything, but how these children who are old enough to know their parents would feel if the parent just took off.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I was here for a couple hours when my daughter flipped out. She was everybody in the county.
Yeah, I mean, in a month. I don't know, I mean, how would your daughter feel if, and then not in the unknown, right? So one of my bigger concerns, not that I don't care about your feelings and with Taylor and all, or Cassandra's, but you have this child. So I kind of want to get him some sort of answers, right? And I don't really know where to go next. Do you have any ideas, anyone that we can go talk to?
Those are the people that we've already talked about.
Anyone, has your mind changed at all? Do you feel any different? Have you thought about any other ways that this could have went down?
Not really. I don't know why she's so just irritated with that court date, you know? I don't.
No, we're talking about the court date for
This,
with
whatever,
Jeff?
right. And thinking that he wanted to have her arrested and all that. I don't know. And
Do you think that she would go away intentionally for over a month?
I I think that she would, but I don't know why she would. I mean, I could see her doing that, but I don't understand her reasoning to do any of that, but I can see her doing that. Because she just is that kind of person. She's going to go where she wants to go and do what she wants to do. And I don't know, I really feel like it's some sort of chess game with Jeff. And I don't understand it, but...
Sure. Do you think, out of all the people that discussed it, is there anyone that if they knew where Taylor was, that they would intentionally not tell us? Anyone that would be more apt to do that than others?
The only people that I would think that would be like that are maybe that girl in Biloxi.
Which is?
I guess Ginger.
The one that she came out about Honesty Night and was like, hey.
Right.
That's one.
And I only say that because, like, she was a completely, like, hidden thing, like, nobody knew about her. She was, like, a secret in another city, you know what I mean? It just kind of was a bizarre, like, where does this come from? Because that's the first I'd ever even heard any mention of her or Taylor really being in Biloxi. Because like I told you, like most of their cases are local. So I didn't really understand why she was going there and then continuing to go there after the fact, but...
Sure. Has any of your friends or acquaintances ever met Taylor? Obviously we know Zach, your husband, that's because I would say you met her, but anyone else ever met her that she...
Maybe my friend Audrey. But we weren't really, like, out and about like that together much.
Yeah. Is that, and Audrey is who again?
She worked at one of my locations.
Is that the girl you were saying something about going to Biloxi or New Orleans with?
Yes. Yes, she did go with us, yes.
Is that the one that you were saying that you had to...
Take her to the hospital,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Can I ask a question? The purely Southern account, over the past year, do you know how many deposits you and Zach or Ashley would have made into the account?
We probably haven't made any. Taylor put a check in there. We put a check in there for Taylor maybe 3 or 4 times. Small checks, and then I gave Taylor the cash for them, but it was mostly just she was wanting the cash and stuff like that. But I had given her previously when her she said she had some banking issues or frozen accounts or whatever, some cash, and she owed me cash back. So
how much cash did you give her?
Probably 20,000 or something. Over a period of weeks.
Oh, not at one time.
No.
So how much money do you think she owed you back?
I don't know, I think the total probably was, I don't know, I have to look at it. Because I had been giving her cash, and she said, well, when she gets her money or whatever, she would, pay him back a bit in the account or whatever. And, maybe more than that, but I think she deposited a couple of her checks to that to pay me back, 3 or 4 total. But we hadn't, like I said, we hadn't really used the account until Taylor and I started discussing, doing this or whatever.
So, you mentioned that you said that we deposited checks for her?
Like she would give them to me, and
maybe I just don't know much about checks. That's before my time. So she
You wouldn't even get a check.
Yeah, it's all like that's all stuff that I heard used to happen. That's like with VHS and all. So she has a check given to her, made out to her, and she can give it to you to deposit?
Yes, because we're all in the same account.
Okay.
I think she has to sign it, right?
I don't know if you have to sign, like, I don't sign mine. You just put in.
Have you ever had to sign her name to a check to deposit it?
No.
But my wife will forge my name on there. Don't tell nobody.
Most checks you don't have to.
You just put deposit only on there, I think.
You can put deposit only, or like when I deposit a lot of them, I just put them in. If it's in an account with your name on it, it's just because I think if you were cashing something is when, you know what I mean? Because then you'd be receiving the cash. But if it's going into a listed account with, your name is supposed to be your, whatever,
And so she was having her accounts were frozen?
Yeah, that's a while ago.
So y'all would deposit when all this was going down with the check stuff, or before that?
No, it was before that.
So her account was back active?
I guess at the time, I don't know.
Okay. But when y'all deposited the checks, and obviously I'm assuming you had access to the funds, or y'all had access to the funds over it? Do you know what bank she was having issues, or where these checks were coming from?
What do you mean, which checks were coming?
Like, were these paychecks that someone wrote to her, or were these like where she pulled money out of a bank in form of a...
She had one cashier's check, and then I think the others were like little paychecks that somebody had written to her.
Do you recall how much the cashier's check was for?
I think 30-something thousand, 33, 34.
And she or you deposited that?
I deposited that. I actually deposited all of the checks for her.
Into...
Unless she deposited more than I know. Because she would just hand it to me and I go...
And that was into the Simply or Purely
account.
Okay. Did she ever make withdrawals or expenses from that account?
That I don't think so, because most of it was paying me back for the money I had already given her.
Sure. Now, when you were loaning her money, was it like, here's $5,000, here's $10,000, or was it like, here's a couple $100?
No, it's like, because she said that and this started way back in probably February, I don't know, that she was having, issues with her bank or whatever and trying to get money out of whatever she was doing or whatever. So usually I'd give her like $1,000 or $1,500 a week or so to keep, and
Good Lord.
well, so that she could, do what she needed to do and buy her products, her stuff, and, keep up her.
Pretty good for her. Well, she had no friends, but I don't know if you can let me borrow $1,500.
Well, and that was for a week, but and honestly, it was probably very stupid because knowing what I know now, there was a good chance I would have never gotten, paid for any of it because it turns out it really wasn't her. But I didn't know her to be anything but honest with me, So.
And you loaned her approximately $20,000 over the course of those.
It was probably 26 or 28. I don't really know. It wasn't. And she just said, once I get the money, I'll put it in there for you, whatever. And okay, that's fine. But to my knowledge, she was making it with her private investigator stuff, but she just was like, this money is getting tied up. Can you help me out? And
Does Zach know all this?
probably not. We don't really talk about finance stuff.
Did you ever talk to anyone about any of this, any of the loans or Taylor being on the account? Okay. Was there anyone else y'all discussed about being partners with y'all, or anyone that she had in mind?
Not that I know of. No, she didn't discuss it with me. Now, I think she does have another guy that she works with some of her other stuff.
Not PI stuff or a different?
Some of her Keiko stuff that is like, the molding. Molding for, like, clips and holsters and...
Oh, so they make gun holsters?
Yeah, like those Kydex holsters and different things.
And she's got a business that does that?
Mm-hmm. That's what we were all going to just umbrella into the other.
So we're just going to go out to the place, you were going to have kind of the T-shirts?
Well, that's the thing. She was going to go and have, like, all of it together typically, you know, because I didn't have the time to go, and so we were just going to kind of add it together. And realistically, she, I think was mostly doing that so that she didn't have to let Jeff see all of her stuff, you know, because she was busy trying to...
Did Jeff inquire about the funds at all whenever he reached out to you? About, like, these funds that she apparently had taken from or withdrawn from an account that he was on?
I think he said something about, like, you know, that she had to do that in court or whatever, but I mean, he didn't really mention much of it at all.
Okay. Yeah. I wanted to at some...
Your food is here. And I wanted to see if we could get to, so you only had an hour when we came back in, but it should just now be delivered to you. So y'all know the drill. Leave your notepads and pencils. Today, at least at 11 o'clock, it looked like a nice day. If you decide that you do want to stretch your legs, let court security know. We're going to be back at 1:45 and pick up where we left off. We'll have an hour of video and then we'll keep pushing on. Okay? Thank y'all. Don't discuss the case. Anything else, Ms. Jensen? Mr. Barry Barossett?
Quick question, how do you think you're proceeding as far as time-wise for tomorrow?
Well, it depends on the rest of your cross this afternoon.
Well, just generally.
I mean, I feel like after Detective Gigliotti's done, I feel like it will move a little quicker. I
So,
hope.
would I have to have my witnesses here by noon?
I don't know.
Just trying to figure out.
Well, that would be wonderful news if that were the case. I'm
Okay.
having a hard time feeling that, but that would be great in the sense of timing. But it's hard,
Okay.
I mean, all I'm doing is looking at the same witness list. Y'all know what those witnesses are actually testifying to, and how
Judge,
long
and
y'all
again,
might be.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be long for me, but I don't know what the defense is going to want to ask.
Right, so you just have to look at that list. Once this witness is done, we've got 13 other witnesses, and from the state. How long y'all crossing? Y'all figure it out. We probably will get done with the video, hopefully about 2:45, 2:50 or so, and then I'm sure Ms. Jensen's got other things she's covering with this witness. Then you're going to cross him. She'll redirect, and then I'm hoping to move to a new witness, and we're going to 6:30. But y'all know what you're doing. That's the key. And you knew how long you were taking yesterday to do things.
The only witness I have that I have to get on tomorrow is Dr. Roberts, and she said she would work with me on that, I believe.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, Miss Jensen will work with you. We'll work with you.
Okay.
But I really don't want to say that the only witness of yours we get on tomorrow. I mean, y'all understand.
I understand. I want to.
We talked about it yesterday, so we would like aspirationally to get more than, if you were going to call more than Dr. Roberts on. So, but we'll make that work for sure.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, we're on a break. Don't talk about your testimony over lunch.